Hello, dream traveler. Welcome to the Story Nexus. Tonight, you'll be taken on a journey through a forest where you'll find a floating library. To begin, wrap yourself up underneath the covers. Get nice and comfortable. Close your eyes and just take a few deep breaths and let the day go. All thoughts, all worries are now falling away. Any emotions or thoughts that come into your head, just let them float away. The mind is a busy thing and wants to continually churn and figure things out. But this is a time for rest, to regenerate and recuperate, so you can start your day with lots of energy, intention, and focus. Now you see yourself at the edge of a forest. It's nighttime, but the path is lit by the moon. It's bright and beautiful, and the forest is a sea of contrasts. You are in bare feet, and as you step forward, you can feel how soft and warm the moss is on this path. The air is cool and scented with cedar, damp earth, and the faintest hint of jasmine. Fireflies drift slowly about, glowing and then disappearing. The forest feels soothing. There are sounds of nocturnal birds and animals rustling about. The sound of nighthawks, whippoorwills, even mockingbirds who like to sing in the moonlight float through the air. There are also sounds of frogs, toads, crickets, and katydids. There are even a few coyote howls. As you listen to the sounds of the whippoorwills and the other animals, you become aware. The birds are nocturnal birds who love the forest and the nighttime. Whippoorwills especially. They're most active at night. During the day, whippoorwills like to sit still on low tree branches or in patches of leaves, staying under cover until they can soar and sing at night. The whippoorwills come out at night and love to sing to dream travelers like yourself. They begin to sing at dusk and go on all night long. They are especially vocal when the moon is very bright in the sky, like it is tonight. Whippoorwills have such a distinct call. Their name comes directly from the sound of their call. Whippoorwill, whippoorwill. The rhythm is steady and repetitive, and they can sing like this all night. Their voices carry far through a quiet nighttime forest, echoing in many directions. An interesting fact about whippoorwills is that they have bristles around their mouths that help to attract and funnel insects into their beak while they're in flight. It gives new meaning to fast food. All of these animals are natural inhabitants of the forest. They are used to dream travelers coming through their area. They enjoy supporting you in your rest and in your sleep, and sometimes even in your dreams. They are a reminder, too, of all the wonderful variety of Mother Nature. As you continue to walk down the forest path, allowing the moss to come up and tickle in between your toes and settle in your arches and around your heels as you press your weight on each foot. You notice how warm the moss is and how soothing it is to walk along a path that is both soft and comfortable, yet very solid and safe. You continue along the path, going deeper into the forest, as if the forest is inviting you in, like a neighbor, welcoming and familiar. Looking ahead on the path, far ahead between the trees, you start to see the gentle glow of lanterns. They seem to be hanging in midair, suspended by invisible ropes. As you draw near, you realize the lanterns are floating in place next to rows and rows of books. There are many hundreds of books here. You have now entered a clearing where an entire 3-story library is hovering about 4 feet over the forest floor. The library has the look and feel of an old Gothic revival-style building. It has that comfortable, warm, inviting silence that makes you want to read every book on the shelves. There is a wide wooden stairway leading up to the first floor of the library. So you wander over and slowly climb up to the first floor. When you get to the top of the stairway, you see before you a fireplace with a crackling fire in it, a Victorian-style couch, and 2 chairs, one on either side. There are 3 floors of bookshelves, completely filled with books, and there's a stairway that leads up to the top floor. Lit stained glass lanterns are hanging in strategic places around the library. They all seem to be suspended by invisible forces. It's clear this place is here for you as tonight's dream traveler. Just as you are about to walk over to the fireplace, a very small man appears suddenly just off to your left from out of nowhere. He is no taller than 3.5 feet high. He could easily walk underneath this floating library without having to stoop. He is bald, except for 3 long, thick, wiry gray hairs flattened across the top. He is dressed in a fine-looking dark brown 3-piece suit. His tie is of a purple paisley design. On his hands are light gray fitted gloves. His face is bright and happy and shows a maturity, even though his stature is very childlike. His small green eyes sparkle, and he has a smile that is almost too big for his face. He looks up at you and stretches his mouth wide, showing off a full row of large white teeth that spread from one ear to the other. He introduces himself as the librarian of this ancient floating forest library, and that he is here to assist you in any way that he can. He also said his name was Alfrig. Alfrig is a Norse name meaning an elf of wisdom or experience. It seemed to suit him. And certainly, this Alfrig did seem to possess knowledge that was not easily attained. It was easy to feel very comfortable with Alfrig. Instinctively, you knew he meant no harm, and that he was genuinely interested in helping you rest and recuperate. Alfrig led you to the couch by the fireplace and asked if you wanted anything to drink. And he meant it. If you wanted hot chocolate with mini marshmallows, Alfrig could get it for you. What about pineapple juice or your favorite herbal tea? No problem. Alfred can bring you that too. He then pointed to where the main subjects were located in the library shelves so that you could find what you wanted to read much more easily. You took your time, enjoying this quiet, floating library, absorbing the walls. When you touched the spine of a book, it drifted out from the shelf and floated in front of you. Then it opened itself. In fact, every book you touched did exactly the same thing. You finally settled on a book and then headed back to the crackling fireplace and sat down on the couch. After reading for a bit, you have no idea how long you've been in this floating library. And then you realize it doesn't even matter. As you get even more comfortable on the couch and more absorbed in the book, your favorite bedtime drink is being placed on a small table nearby. Looking up, Alfred gives you a little grin, and then suddenly disappears. This old library looks like any other old library that is well used and well respected, and you're quite sure Alfred has something to do with that. The only difference here between a real old library and this floating library is the fact that it's missing one wall. That's the wall where you entered. And as you sit on the couch now, you can look out through that wall into the forest and see the fireflies still blinking and hear the nocturnal birds calling and the occasional howl from a coyote. Once again, Alfred suddenly appears by your side and explains that the open wall has an invisible barrier. It prevents the animals from getting too close to the floating library, and in a blink of an eye, he was gone again. Somehow, you find this to be perfectly normal. You continue to read this book. You find it quite absorbing, And as you turn the pages, you find your eyes getting heavy. As you continue to turn the pages, they suddenly become blank. Staring at the empty page, you now saw the words form as you watched. You can see now that it is your handwriting, writing itself. You are writing about this dream experience, this wonderful sleep journey. You are encouraging yourself to let go and allow rest to take over. Your writing self is telling you you are safe. Your eyes continue to get heavy, and your breathing is deep and rhythmic. Your shoulders are dropping and releasing tension. Your mind has stopped racing or thinking about much of anything. You write to yourself and you say you are ready to fall asleep. It's time to leave the library. So you get up from the couch and walk towards the stairs at the front of the open wall. Alfred is standing there, ready to see you off. You look him square in his sparkly green eyes and smile at him. He smiles back, and there's a genuine warmth coming from this small man. You don't even bother looking for the stairs in front of you. Somehow you know you'll be just fine. The next thing you know, you land barefoot on the moss. You are at the edge of the path, leading back to your own bed. You begin to move forward up that path, away from the center of the forest, away from the floating library that gave you such a deep sense of peace, allowing you to step into a moment of infinite consciousness. You are aware of the birds and the frogs and the fireflies and coyotes as they all call to you as you exit the woods. The light from the floating library is now fading away. The library itself has begun to drift upwards out of the clearing. All the stained glass lanterns dim to the glow of a dying ember and then disappear into the moonlight. You continue to feel yourself being gently guided back down that mossy path, as if Alfred himself was making sure you returned home on time. The forest is getting quieter and quieter, and each step you take feels heavier and heavier in the best possible way. You've now reached the end of the forest. You turn to look one last time. The library is now just a soft, distant constellation of warm light hovering at the top of the trees. You are now aware that you are in your own bed, comfortable and warm. and ready to let go of this world, to sleep in another. You let yourself surrender to sleep, fall into rest, knowing that the floating library will be waiting for you whenever you need it again. All you have to do is visit that clearing in the middle of the forest, and the floating library will be there with Alfred to greet you. Good night, dear traveler.